Wayzata will get the dunk at the buzzer. For the 8th time in school history, a Maple Girls softball team is going to state.
Hello and welcome to Sports Jam for the week of October 7th. I'm Jay Wilcox.
And I'm John Jacobson. This week on the show, we'll get set for the section soccer playoffs. We'll meet a Park Center soccer standout in our Sports Jam spotlight. And I'll talk volleyball with the Champlin Park Rebels.
Let's kick it off with football. Cooper and Benilde-St. Margaret's compete in the Metro West Conference in other sports, but since football switched to a district setup, they haven't always played. The 4-1 Hawks hosted the 5-0 Red Knights in the team's first meeting since 2016. The Red Knights are deep at running back. Joe Marinero powers in from 4 yards out for the first touchdown of the game. Cooper trying to get its ground game going, but George Wolf darts into the backfield for the tackle for loss. The Red Knights on the doorstep again in the second quarter, and Camden Royal keeps his balance for the 5-yard score. Benilde's up 14-0 at halftime. Third quarter, and Nick Peterson goes to the air. It's pretty good coverage by Joey Law, but Dylan Rash still hauls it in for a 38-yard gain. Then Peterson escapes the pressure and hits Wolf to cap the drive with a 10-yard score. Benilde gets another touchdown when William Petty scoots in from 3 yards out for a 28-0 lead. And the Red Knights defense limits Cooper to 11 yards on the ground and runs their record to 6-0 with a 35-0 win.
The Armstrong football team also started 5-0. The Falcons look to stay perfect as they hosted a 4-1 Coon Rapids squad on homecoming night at Armstrong. First play of the second quarter, Cardinals quarterback Jake Van Holzen, a 16-yard touchdown run. Cardinals are up 14-0. Watch this catch by Armstrong wide receiver Jordan Lewis. He makes a great grab on the pass thrown by Jake Breitbach. It's a touchdown. The Falcons cut the Coon Rapids lead to 14-7 at halftime. Third quarter, and Breitbach on the quarterback keeper fights his way 8 yards for a touchdown. He finished with 74 yards rushing in the game. Falcons tie it at 14. It's a big third quarter for Armstrong. Breitbach on the play action airs it out to an open Nick Barrett. He goes down the sideline and in for a touchdown. 38 yards on the play. Falcons are up 28-14. Fourth quarter, the pitch goes to Ty Bowman, who then pulls up and throws to Lewis. He catches his second touchdown pass of the night. Armstrong remains unbeaten on the season with a 35-21 win over Coon Rapids after a tough start to the game.
You know, we got punched in the mouth, and we were a little surprised coming out, but you know, we just buckled down and we just did what we knew we could do.
We knew what we were capable of. We knew that we were just playing flat and we just weren't in our right mindset. We had a lot of like missed focus with homecoming and everything. At halftime, we really had to buckle down.
The Maple Grove and Osseo football teams had been meeting to start the season in recent years. Their game this year came in week 6. The Orioles looking to break a 3-game losing streak to the Crimson. Their defense forces a quick 3-and-out by Osseo. Maple Grove's first play from scrimmage is a big one as Cooper Wegscheid follows some good blocks and almost scores before he's tripped up at the 1. That sets up a touchdown by quarterback Nate Elms, and it's 7-0. Matt Lombardi's team breaks it open in the second quarter. Elms hits Jacob Engel deep over the middle. It's stripped away from him, but Preston Rupak hustles to recover the fumble, and it leads to another short TD for Elms and the Crimson. 4 minutes later, play action for Elms, and he throws it up for Luke Raymond, who outfights the defender for the ball for another touchdown and a 21-0 Crimson lead. Their defense plays well, and Anthony Gibson is in the right spot as the ball is thrown right to him here, and he returns it 30 yards for the touchdown. Maple Grove is now 3-3 after a 47-7 win over Osseo.
After a huge win over Eden Prairie, Wayzata's football team didn't want any letdown when they faced a struggling Minnetonka squad. Trojans looking to take care of business on their home field. Minnetonka's deep in Trojans territory, but quarterback Joe Gendrell sacked by Joe Dembro and friends. Wayzata gets the key stop. Down 3-0, Wayzata caps a nice drive as Christian Vassar leaps into the end zone to give the Trojans the lead for good. It's 7-3 after 1. Second quarter, and Wayzata's defense is swarming. Cole Brown, the first of many to arrive. Skippers have no chance on that play. The offense starts to heat up. Tom Schmidt finds tight end Luke Bodine, and he is off to the races. Bodine stumbles late in the run and is tripped up at the 7. The 69-yard gain, though, sets up a field goal. It's 10-3 Trojans. Their defense continues to shine. Matt Schmidt steps in for the interception to halt another Minnetonka drive. And that sets up a 16-yard touchdown run by Vassar. The Trojans start to wear Minnetonka down. It's 17-3 Wayzata at the half. Second half, and Schmidt finds Jacob Wildemuth on the slant for 6 more. Wayzata wins 38-3. Lakeville North lost, and Lakeville South could open the door for the Trojans to move up to the number 1 in the rankings. Homecoming at Hopkins High School as the Royals hosted Park Center. First quarter, the Pirates' number 20, Malachi Mitchell, strips the ball carrier of the football. Lucas Lee recovers for Park Center, one of 4 first-half turnovers by the Royals. But Hopkins gets on the board on their next drive. Quarterback Noah Kim airs it out deep downfield. B.J. Murph with the catch. He takes it the rest of the way for a 55-yard touchdown. Royals lead 7-0. Next possession, and Kim finds Ty Bennett on a quick slant. And there goes Bennett. This play covers 59 yards and is another Hopkins touchdown. The Royals are up 14-0. The defense steps up this night, too. R.J. Shakola shoots in for a tackle for loss, and the Park Center running back keep the Pirates off the scoreboard. Coach John Den Hartog's team gets one more first-half touchdown on Ricky Dixon's short scoring run. Hopkins leads 21-0 at halftime. They win up 35-0 to improve to 4-2 on the season. The Wayzata, Armstrong, and Benilde, they're now all 6-0. Champlin Park and Breck are 5-1. The Mustangs having lost for the first time this season on Friday.
Yeah, great seasons for all of those clubs. Also, section tennis is going strong with section finals coming up later this week. Look for highlights on some of those matches on our daily CCX news show. Still to come on Sports Jam, highlights from the final week of the regular season in soccer, plus a look ahead to the section playoffs.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. The regular season is in the books for local soccer teams.
That's right. It should be an exciting playoff time. One of the top local teams scored a huge win on the season's last week. The number 3 Maple Grove girls hosted number 1 Andover in the rain. Maple Grove gets a good chance in the first half, but the shot by Lauren Bredensteiner is just wide, and it stays at 0-0. Later in the half, though, there's a key sequence. The crossing pass short hops the Huskies goalkeeper. Kelly Klontz is knocked down as she attempts a shot. A foul is called, resulting in a penalty kick. And Hilley Daiba does not miss, hooking the left-footed shot in. So the Crimson take a 1-0 lead into halftime. Second half, and off the Luca Ralph corner kick, Abby Schulte heads it off the turf and in. Maple Grove beats the top-ranked Huskies 2-0. They did lose to Coon Rapids later in the week, and Champlin Park handed Andover a second straight loss as well.
Eden Prairie and Wayzata have fielded strong programs for years in girls soccer, but both of those teams have struggled to score goals this season. Not a lot of scoring when these teams met last week either. Late first half, Wayzata's Claudia Otero rings a shot off the goal post. Eagles goalie Sarah Kurtenbach scrambling out to get the loose ball. Still no score into overtime of this one when Eden Prairie's Carrie Burns gets free on a breakaway, but Wayzata goalie Kylie Stoner comes out and makes a huge stop to preserve the shutout. Neither team scores in overtime. This one ends 0-0.
In the boys' game, the Trojans hoping to reverse an earlier loss to Eden Prairie. The Eagles work it wide to Karan Patel, and his crossing pass is hooked in with a well-placed shot by Tyler Beaupre. Eden Prairie goes up 1-0. Wayzata's Ben Lidke beats the defender and sets up Evan McGugan, but his drive just over the net. That's really the best chance all night for the Trojans. Later in the first half, Luke Hernandez takes the pass and holds off a defender before turning to score, as Eden Prairie goes on to win this one 3-0. The Park Center boys are having a strong season. They look to chalk up another win when they played host to the Anoka Tornadoes. First half, Chief Williams spins past the Anoka defender, and his shot is off the keeper, and it trickles over the line for a 1-0 lead. Second half, Daniel Salada Herrera heads the throw into Eddie Swen, and he gets the header goal. Park Center wins at 5-1. They tied Blaine and beat Mounds View to round out the regular season.
The Totino Grace boys soccer team is one of the best in Class A. Eagles play mostly Class AA schools as part of the Northwest Suburban Conference, though. Thursday night of last week, the Eagles hosting Spring Lake Park for their regular season finale. First half, Totino's Prince Cole crossing it behind Stevenson Lamar. Joe Morey there trailing the play. He buries the shot. It's a 1-0 Eagles lead. Late in the first half, it's All-State Lamar eluding a Panthers defender and then drilling it into the Spring Lake Park net. The Eagles have a 2-0 lead at halftime. Second half, a nice setup by Lamar to Brian Brown, who goes in alone and tucks in a shot for a goal. Totino Grace goes on to win this one 4-0, the final.
That brings us to playoff time in soccer. A number of teams from the area should have good shots to get through to state. Park Center, with just one loss this season, is the #1 seed in the Section 5 AA boys tournament. They're followed by Roseville, St. Paul Central, and Champlin Park. The Pirates host 8th seed Harding in the quarterfinals Thursday, while Champlin Park hosts Mounds View. The semifinals are Saturday. Minneapolis Washburn is the top seed in Section 6 AA boys. Then it's St. Louis Park, Southwest, Wayzata, Armstrong, Hopkins, and Cooper. Armstrong is at Wayzata, Cooper at St. Louis Park, and Hopkins plays Southwest in the quarterfinals Thursday. Semis are Saturday. In Section 8 AA, Maple Grove is the #2 seed behind Brainerd. Osseo is the #7 seed, so it's an Osseo versus Maple Grove matchup in Thursday night's quarterfinals.
In Section 5 AA girls, Champlin Park is the top seed, followed by Roseville, Mounds View, and Spring Lake Park. Cooper is 5th, Osseo 7th, and Park Center 8th. In the quarterfinals Thursday, Park Center is at Champlin Park. Cooper visits Spring Lake Park, and Osseo is at Roseville. Again, the semifinals are Saturday. In Section 6 AA, Cretin-Derham Hall is the #1 seed with Washburn 2nd and Wayzata 3rd. Hopkins is 6th and Armstrong 8th. Quarterfinals involving local teams are Armstrong at Cretin-Derham Hall and Hopkins at Wayzata, both at 5 p.m. before Saturday's semifinals. Maple Grove's girls team is now in Section 8 AA. The Crimson earned the top seed for the section. STMA is the 2nd seed and Rogers 3rd. Rogers hosts Buffalo in the quarterfinals Thursday. Maple Grove has a bye into Saturday's semifinals.
And in Class A, the Breck boys are the top seed in Section 5 ahead of Blake and Totino Grace in a loaded section.
That's right, and Breck girls are also a top seed in Section 5. Should be a great set of section tournaments. Now to volleyball, where Rogers joined the Northwest Suburban Conference this year. The Royals look to snap a 4-match losing streak as they played at Totino Grace. The first set is back and forth. Totino Grace's Abigail Zier sets it to Phoebe Newstrom, and she powers it through the block for a 15-14 Eagles lead. But Rogers surges ahead. Anya Schmidt sets it right side for Alexandra Johnson. She pounds it for a kill, and a 23-19 lead. Royals take the set 25-19. And they dominate the second set. Grace sets up for the attack, but Caitlin Lee and Allison Ritter get up for the block, and a 17-8 lead. Royals cruise to a 25-12 win. They go up 2-0. And they don't let up in the third set. Schmidt to Lee. She gets up for the strong hit. Rogers wins. They sweep Totino Grace. The Royals are now 13-8 on the season. And we'll be hearing from the Champlin Park volleyball team coming up later in the program.
Yeah, they've certainly been playing well of late. And straight ahead in our Sports Jam Spotlight, meet a talented offensive force for the Park Center boys soccer team. As we saw earlier, it's been a good regular season for the Park Center boys soccer team. In this week's Sports Jam Spotlight, we meet a 4-year varsity regular for the Pirates who is a tough player for opposing teams to stop. Senior Chief Williams is pretty noticeable on the field for Park Center for his speed and skill, and for his name. Chief is indeed his given name.
My dad, he gave me that name. Reason is to make me want to work hard to live up to that name, Chief. So every day, if it's in school or on the field, I just try to be the best I can be. And whenever I step on the field, it's try to be the best player on the field and try my best in the classroom. If it's by getting A's or B's, and just try to be up there and work hard, you know.
Williams was a second-team All-State pick last season, scoring 13 goals. He certainly left his mark in 4 varsity seasons in the Pirates program.
Chief is a big personality and a great kid. I'll never forget as a 7th grader, we were doing summer trainings, and I was running those, and we typically have the older kids, go in one area and younger kids go in a different area, and he's like, Jason, let me come play with the older kids. Let me play with the older kids. Let me play with varsity. And just from 7th grade, and then we took him as a 9th grader in varsity, and it's been awesome to watch his development.
He's big for us. He's a leader on this team. He's been around for the longest, for 4 years now, and I met him here too. He's just been growing, been getting better. From a couple years ago, he wasn't up there, and then he grinds hard, he works hard. He wants to be the best he can be. He got a lot of potential, and he really helped this team.
Man, it's been fun. The school, they give us a great opportunity. It's just been great. Having everyone here, the great community we have here, and just playing this beautiful game that I love and having a great platform, it just meant a lot to me.
The Pirates have a lot of talented players alongside Chief, and he's learned to move the ball and use his teammates more and more. His assist total has climbed a lot this fall.
I just want to be a great player, want this team to win. If it's passing the ball or scoring, I'm just trying to do my job and go as far as we can.
For Chief and a lot of talented scorers, dealing with being held and roughed up a bit by opposing teams isn't fun, but it's part of the deal.
I have to deal with that every day. We have a game. Before we even played all the teams, they already know my name, and I'd be like, what do you know me from? Yeah, so I have to deal with all that. Guys try to get in my head, but I just played the game. It's what I love to do, and I just played the game. I've been playing soccer since I was a baby. I had a soccer ball, so here now it don't bother me. It's just having fun, and guys trying to get in my head. I'm used to it, so.
Williams moved to the U.S. from Monrovia, Liberia about 6 years ago, first settling in New Jersey before moving to Minnesota. He was definitely surprised to find so many from his homeland in the Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center area.
It just makes you feel at home, having the favorite food that you like, and just having all your people and speaking the same language. I speak English, but a certain way we talk and we understand it, so it's fun, and having all the race and all the people. It just shows the beautiful world we live in today. So,
Chief Williams and his teammates very much want to lead Park Center back to the state tournament, a feat the program last achieved in 2015. That's his main focus now, but he does see soccer in his future too.
You want to go to the best school that you possibly can, and for me, continue my soccer career. I want to play at the D1 school, and I feel like I have the talent and ability to. So.
Chief had 10 goals and 15 assists in the regular season. As he mentioned, he's still considering his options, but he will play college soccer. John talks volleyball with the Champlin Park Rebels up next.
Welcome back to Sports Jam. The Champlin Park volleyball team is one of the best in the state. They are ranked 9th in Class 3A and come into this week with a 10-6 record. Head coach John Yunker joins us along with 2 of their seniors. And we'll start with Sami Hilley. And Sami, first of all, an impressive win over a good Osseo team on Tuesday night. What did you guys do well?
We communicated really well, and we did the things we were working on practice. We crossed in the back row. We did a lot of communicating.
What has come along the farthest since you started the first practice? A lot of new players into the system. To where you are right now, do you feel?
The talking has come a long way. We used to be silent on the court, but now we're doing a lot of talking and connecting with our hitters. Me and Melina, we weren't really connecting at the beginning of the season. Now we're connecting pretty well.
How do you feel in your role as doing some setting part-time, having not done it before?
I like setting a lot. I've always wanted to set, but John would never let me. So, yeah, I love it.
You've played a lot of tough teams up to this point. How much has that helped you, even the ones you didn't win, playing tough competition?
That helped a lot because it showed us what we needed to work on in practice.
Congratulations on the win over Osseo. Good luck the rest of the season, Sami. All right, Jordan Stalpes, step in. And those of you who are seniors, has it been a fun ride so far?
It's been super fun. Senior season has been super fun, and I think this team has super good chemistry, so that even makes it more fun.
8 seniors on this team. How close are you as a group?
We're really close. We've been playing together for so long, and even in club too. Some of us played together, so that helps us on the court with chemistry.
What have you seen improve the most since the beginning of the season to where you're at right now?
I think just clicking together. I think that like our talking and energy just makes us click and like makes us successful.
You want to win the section as this team has done for several years now, but how important is winning your side of the conference?
Super important, just to get see some extra teams before we start in sections, like some teams that we like haven't seen before. So yeah.
It's good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Coach John Yunker, talk about this team and how this group has come together in the last month and a half to where you're playing right now.
Yeah, they've really come together. We're extremely proud of where they're playing right now, but we kind of threw them in the deep end a little bit at the beginning of the season with a bunch of new faces and the tough schedule we played. We have 6 losses right now and all against top 10 teams, so we didn't back off on our schedule, and we just kind of said let's go and see where we're at, and there's going to be some growing pains and some bumps in the road with new faces on varsity and people playing new roles, and let's just go see what it looks like and make adjustments after that and go from there and see where we're at. And I'm extremely proud of how they responded, and then it was all right, let's get to work and figure out some adjustments to make, and this is where we're at. We're playing really well right now, and hopefully we can keep it going forward.
Sami, Hilley, Jordan Stalpes, Hannah Praski, all big parts of your team that won state last year. But you mentioned those other players that maybe watched from the bench but didn't get a lot of floor time. How impressive you've been with those girls who have been able to step in and really improve from August 15 to where you are today?
Really impressed. It's part of, again, they weren't on the court as much last year or whatever else, but, they were in practice every day getting after it, with a lot of talented players around them. And so it wasn't a matter of could they play at this level. It was a matter of just when were they going to get their opportunity kind of thing. And then, of course, there is some adjustment as far as nerves and playing a little bit more on a regular basis and things like that, and carried over and passes on to some of the younger players now as well. So it's very proud of them for that. They're just kind of leaving their mark on the program.
John, thanks for your time. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Champlin Park Rebels having a great season in volleyball, and they will face Anoka in a Northwest Suburban Conference match on Wednesday.
Thanks, John. A reminder to cast your vote for the CCX Sports Play of the Week, brought to you by Chick-fil-A of Maple Grove. 4 new plays are nominated each week, and we invite you to vote. Go to ccxmedia.org, click on the Sports tab, and then the CCX Sports Play of the Week to cast your vote. This week's plays are up now. And here's last week's winner. Gabby Tolander and Sophie Jesuits get back-to-back blocks for the Wayzata volleyball team, and the Trojans win over Hopkins. A record 9,200 votes were cast, and this play just edged out Tommy Oyaro's long kickoff return for Champlin Park football. Thanks to all who voted. And we'll be right back.
What makes your community feel like home? Is it knowing what's happening in your neighborhood? Or when people know your name? Connections make us a community. For more than 30 years, Northwest Community Television has connected citizens, neighbors, even sports fans through video. You can learn about the latest news through our truly local newscast. We cover and air around 150 high school sporting events every year. For our cities, we air parades and city meetings that you can watch whenever you want. Then, any citizen of our cities can create and share their own original content. We'll even teach you how to use the equipment too. We have always provided you with a connected community experience. And as life gets busier than ever, we will continue to engage, inform, and inspire through CCX Media, so you can stay connected to the place you call home.
Our game of the week is a Twin City Metro Rivers Sub-District football game featuring Breck and Concordia Academy. The Mustangs are 5-1 and host the 6-0 Beacons. Friday night at 7. Watch the game live on CCX1 and ccxmedia.org. The game also replays Friday night at 10. And that is all for today. Thanks for watching Sports Jam.
The weather is going to turn colder later this week. We'll have highlights from section soccer, conference cross country, and more. We'll see you next time.